You can listen to my entire life soundtrack as a playlist on Apple Music, Spotify, and Tidal. Just search for Songology with Yemi Oyediran. "2020 has been great for me. 2020 has been a good year, despite all of the complications in life. I do so many things that getting those things to be forced into one place has opened up my productivity. Being able to, driving takes up so much time. I would have to, for example, one of my classes that I was teaching last year, that class had to happen before my workday started. So it was like a 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning class, so that I could get to work on time by 9. I don't have to do that anymore. Once the quarantine hit, I could reschedule to all right, so let's do what works for everyone in the class. And we found something that was later in the day that worked out better, and it was perfect. And it didn't interrupt my work schedule. I can block out things for my work schedule. And then the 40 minutes and my daily drive to and work and from back and forth from work is cut out. My drive to school, to UC, was cut out. Dropping off the kids at school in the morning and picking them up from school, that's cut out. Those are things that just transportation took out an inordinate amount of time of my day that I don't have to worry about those things. Surprisingly, I'm notorious for being late to things. I've been on time to almost everything this year. It's because the amount of things that I have to deal with in transporting myself from one place to another place to another place to accomplish all these things has been cut out. So that's one of the things that's been exceptionally helpful. Being able to cut away distractions, that's another thing to 2020. I've been able to practice my instruments because I've basically just lived in a vacuum for several months. That's put me in a place to actually develop musical skills, software development skills. As a software developer, I'm at the top of my game. I'm working on multiple projects in multiple languages that are all very challenging. But having 2 or 3 more hours now in my day makes it a lot possible for me to now dig into things even deeper and to take on some things that I've always wanted to take on. So for me, who is, I guess I can consider myself very driven, 2020 has been great. As far as a soundtrack or songs that epitomize the year, that's hard to say. Mainly because I think, as I mentioned earlier, for me, this hasn't really been a year of music listening as much as it has been about social justice. I suppose one of the songs that definitely has gotten there are probably 2 songs and they're protest songs that probably have a new meaning, which is Sam Cooke's "Change Is Gonna Come" and James Brown's "Say It Loud" are probably, those are 2 songs that have probably made sense to me, because when I really think about 2020, the one person that comes to mind is Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick, whether his career was coming to an end or not, his career came to a very dramatic end. And he was bringing up something that we have now, most of America lambasted him for the stand that he was making. And very quickly, we've now understood that we should have listened to Colin Kaepernick. And that's why I feel like Colin Kaepernick was singing Change is Gonna Come before anybody knew. And now even white people are singing I'm Black and I'm Proud. And that is probably, 2020 has forced us as a country to reflect in a way that we otherwise wouldn't. It has brought things to light. About the American experience that we can no longer look away from and that we can no longer write off. As much as, there's some people who definitely will continue to write it off and look away, but it has become a lot more difficult for people to look away from those experiences. And I do believe that once we reemerge as a society from this state of quarantine and self-reflection, I'm curious to see what changes are going to come. And then I'm also curious to see what's going to happen to the Black identity. Again, I'm wanting to see if there's going to be a new homogeny of our Black identities. And if we're going to start understanding these differences between color and culture. And those are some of the things, those are kind of some of the things that I'm wanting to see what Kendrick Lamar has to say about all of this. There's some artists that I'm still waiting to hear from that I think that they have the ability to speak to this. And not just even hip hop. There's some country artists that I'm really interested to see what they're going to have to say about this, because even like country music has not been spared from this soul searching, this reckoning. And once we start seeing this happen in different stages, different places rather, I'm curious to see what the art that will come out of it. A lot of artists have had a lot of time to create, and I know a lot of people are sitting on stuff, and I want to see the changes that the art's going to inspire, the changes that it's going to bring, and the things that we as a society would like to dig into. Make sure you check out the behind the scenes and the extra footage from this episode on IWPTV.com.